Greetings, Richard Fulmer here. Welcome to another edition of Richard's Rock Rambles. Today I thought I'm going to give just a very short tribute to someone who passed away, 6 days ago. For me, one of the greats of the blues rock genre from the UK. Of course, I'm talking about Mr. Peter Green. He died at the age of 73, I think about 6 or 7 days ago. To me, he was a guy who never quite got the recognition that he deserved. Had an amazing tone on the guitar, played mainly a Les Paul in the beginning. He did have a lot of other guitars, but that was his main guitar that he played. I think he played Strats as well. He was never a flashy player, very subdued, but the feeling that he got out of the guitar, you could almost, every note was just incredible. And he's revered by many guitarists right up till today. He took the place of Eric Clapton in John Mayall's Blues Breakers. That was his big break. And of course, after that, him along with Mick Fleetwood and John McVie, they formed Fleetwood Mac, the very different Fleetwood Mac to the Lindsey Buckingham, Stevie Nicks monster that came later and sold gazillions of copies of Rumours, etc., etc. So the early Fleetwood Mac was blues-based, and I think they did about 4 or 5 albums featuring Peter Green. Very humble guy, never wanted to take the limelight. In later years, unfortunately, he got hooked up with acid and his brain went a bit south. And he had various medical issues later on in life because of that. He did start the Peter Green Splinter group later on and went back to touring. He released some really good albums under that band's moniker. Just a great loss to the music world and I think to blues rock guitar in general. And he will be sorely missed. There is a DVD called The Peter Green Story, Man of the World, which I can highly recommend. Pretty much goes through all his career, and there's interviews with Mick Fleetwood, Jeremy Spencer, and all the other guys that played with him. John McVie's in here as well, and it's a good overview of what his career was all about. So if you can find this, well worth getting. Then there's also a double CD disc called The Best of Peter Green Splinter Group. So this is the stuff he did with the group later on, his own band. A lot of good tracks on here. Steady Rolling Man, Big Change Is Gonna Come is a great track. Sweet Home Chicago, that old staple, really nice version on here as well. Traveling Riverside Blues, which I believe was also done by Led Zeppelin, I think released on the remasters box set a couple of years ago. So a really nice collection and well worth checking out. So I thought I must just give a little bit of love to the late Peter Green, who to me was one of the greats. Okay, so now we're going to go on with our little southern rock journey. And I thought today I'd concentrate on a band who many of you may not be aware of. They're not a classic southern rock band. They haven't been around that long. In fact, I think they started around 2008, 2009. And they are Blackberry Smoke. And they are from Atlanta, Georgia. I think all in total they've got 6 albums. There is a DVD as well. The DVD is called Homecoming, Live in Atlanta, and I think that's fairly recent. The 2 albums that I'm going to concentrate on today, the 2 that I have, the first one is called Little Piece of Dixie by Blackberry Smoke. And this was their second album. Quite a hard rocking album. If you want to look for a modern day Lynyrd Skynyrd, you can't go wrong. These are the guys. A lot of the twin guitar, not 3 guitars, and there's quite a few tracks on this. There's at least 1, 2, 3, 4. There's about 10 tracks on this album. So let's see who's in the band. There's Charlie Starr on vocals, guitar, pedal steel, and banjo. This guy's got probably the most serious pair of sideburns that I've ever seen on anybody. Really, they are quite something. Richard Turner on bass and vocals, and then you have his his brother Britt Turner on drums, and Paul Jackson on second guitar and vocals. Quite a solid lineup. Live, these guys are pretty hot. They can really rock out when needs to, and they can also do the mellow stuff as well. This album has got a bit of both, although this is the harder rocking of the two that I have. The first track's Good One Coming On. That's a really good rocker. Like I Am, bottom of this, Up in Smoke. That's also a really good rocker. Lots of steering guitar in that one. Who Invented the Wheel? I'd Be Lying, Restless, Share Your Magnolia, and Freedom Song. Really good tracks on here. What I like about this band as well is their songwriting. The lyrics are interesting. They tell stories. It's not just, I love my woman, she stole my car, you know, the usual stuff. So good songwriting, good storytelling, and really good playing. If you're looking for a good country rock, southern rock, country rock, they also have a bit of R&B in their sound, a bit of blues. So there's a bit of a mixture here. So it's not just one style. They like to delve into all sorts of rock. So that's Little Piece of Dixie. That was their second one. The other one I want to talk about is the third album called The Whippoorwill. I hope I said that correctly. That's the album there. This one's a little bit more mellow, but the songwriting is just as good. The storytelling is just as good. The difference with this album is they got a keyboardist, Brendan Still, on piano and organ. And I must say, it's quite nice to have the old Hammond B3 filling out the sound here. So you've got the two guitars, you've got the keyboards, bass and drums. And it helps that the vocalist also plays guitar. So, he really gets involved with the music side of things instead of just being the standalone frontman. So as I said, the keyboards fill this album out quite nicely. There's a lot of tracks on here. The standout ones for me are 6 Ways to Sunday, Pretty Little Lie, One Horse Town, which is a song about a guy who's really tired of living in this town that's going nowhere and he needs to get away. So that, like I said, their storytelling is really good. Crimson Moon, Ain't Got the Blues, Up the Road, really good tracks. Amazing guitar work, good singing as well. Charlie Starr has got an incredible voice, and it's a very unique voice. So when these guys come on the radio, you know straight away who it is because his voice stands out. So that's The Whippoorwill by Blackberry Smoke. As I said, that's their second album, another one worth checking out. What else can I say about these guys? 6 studio albums, 2 live albums, and 1 DVD. The first one I spoke about, Little Piece of Dixie, that was released in 2009. And I think the second one, that was 2012. Obviously, with everything happening at the moment, they're not touring or recording, but they are still a going concern. So, another newish band to check out. Southern rock genre is alive and well. There are a number of other bands, newer bands that are still touring as well, but these guys, I think, are at the forefront of the newer guys. In the next edition of Richard's Rock Rambles, I'm going to concentrate on a band which, if you want to talk about a band that incorporates all sorts of styles, and this band is that band. And that band will be Government Mule. But that'll be in the next episode, and there is a Southern Rock link in that band. But I'll tell you about that next time. Hope you enjoyed it. Please, any comments down below, and like and subscribe. Have a good one.